Okay.
And we're getting the chat box opened up and we're good.
See, I can't see anyone when I do that.
It's so good to see some old faces and new
Mm-hmm.
and different backgrounds. So many different backgrounds. Buck, yours was backwards.
Dave Greenstein, you look very comfortable.
Everybody,
I'm not in the
people are
lab.
turning off their things.
I always like to vote on the most comfortable person on Zoom. Dave, you kind of win
Oh.
there. I see that chair. All right, are we ready to start?
It is now
So,
10:30.
Okay,
We're ready to start recording.
Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to share my screen because I won't be able to see you when I do this. Continue, press play. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Onoscope, if you don't know me, and I have been running the art show for a very long time, and I will tell you a little bit of history because I know there's a lot of new people here to the meeting every year. And I want to especially thank all of the participants because this is actually the largest art show we've ever had. We ended up having 73 entries and plus more, which is remarkable. I may keep it like this forever, so this is awesome. And probably the most diverse amount of mixed media that we ever had ever, and less microscopic images than we ever had before too as well. So I'd also like to especially thank GSA because they they host this meeting certainly, and also support these cash prizes that we have here today. So a lot of people ask me, what is the history of the Worm Art Show? And I will tell you a little bit about myself and a little bit of my history in C. elegans for the new people out there that don't know this history. I actually grew up, this was my home growing up when I was a child. My dad was a sculptor. My mom was a ceramicist. My dad's name was Microscope. And as you probably learned in the comedy show yesterday. And I grew up surrounded by artists. I'm the only scientist in my family, but I came to science through the visual and the beauty that I saw in science. I was completely intrigued by it, and I wanted to figure out what these beautiful things were, and certainly drives my passion today. And sort of a timeline of this, I will show you when the art show started. And in a nod to Craig Mello, I'm very old. I was born in the Precambrian explosion, but in 1990, I joined a worm lab of Kevin Van Doren, which was adjacent to Eleanor Main, and Jim Lissamore, who's on here. I think Eleanor's on here. So I joined a worm lab as a work study student. And I always tell students out there, sometimes, often poverty is a gift, and it was a gift because it got me to a worm lab. And I got so very excited about C. elegans being around in this wonderful environment at Syracuse. My mentor, Kevin Van Doren at the time, brought me to my first C. elegans meeting. But I was very intrigued by a picture that was in my development book that Eleanor was teaching a development course. And it ended up being the Hyman and White from the Hyman and White paper. I also got really excited by Bob Goldstein's 1992 Nature paper. And then 1993 was my first international meeting where I actually got to see Bob Goldstein, and Bob Goldstein's on here. Bob Goldstein's kind of the reason why I got into science, because I just thought this was a beautiful, what he was studying, and the P2 EMS story was something near and dear to my heart. In 1996, I had the fortuitous luck of ending up in John White's lab, who come from Cambridge to UW-Madison, and I ended up in UW-Madison where I am today as a grad student. And then John was organizing the international meeting in 1997, and I asked him if I can do an art show there, and he says you can do anything you want, just don't include me, because he was too busy. So I did the art show as a grad student by myself that year, and he, of course, if you learn from the worm comedy show yesterday, he entered his wooden vulva there, and so that was kind of he was from afar, he was being very supportive of this. So without John's support from doing the art show, it wouldn't have started. And so I have been in worms for 31 years, starting from an undergrad work study student, and now we're 24 years into this art show. Along the lines in grad school, I ended up, I think a fun fact about Anna is I was Susan Strom's babysitter. I got my PhD in 2000, and then I went to Berkeley, and I was in Barbara Meyer and Rebecca Heald's lab. And then in 2004, I started my own worm/tissue culture lab. And what you may have revealed last night on comedy show, I haven't done worms in 4 years, but I eventually plan to go back. So this is sort of the history of the Worm Art Show. I started out doing the logos. I've done many more than these in abstracts books, and it's been kind of my fun outlet into the worm community that I really enjoyed. When I was a grad student, I got really passionate about the early embryo and mitosis, and this is one of my first movies I did with a multiphoton scope. I was flummoxed by what was I seeing here, and I still look at it today, and I find it terribly beautiful and also intriguingly interesting to study. Like many of the participants this year, you end up learning how to do Illustrator, Photoshop, and kind of play around. I also was doing this. So for my thesis defense, I put John White underneath a microscope. A little bit of a meme. I was trying to be funny, but a lot of students, this actually took many weeks for me to do in the old Illustrator, but now it's very easy to do these things. So I see the similar stuff. When I started my own lab, I started making cakes. So here's my polarity cake. And so I have been doing, using these kinds of visualizations of things that you're passionate about, and then making them into something very accessible for the public. And of course, the visual is very easy for people to understand. And even if they don't know what the early embryo is, this is a beautiful cake regardless. And what I discovered along the way is kind of summed up in this quote that I want to share. Is he's a friend, Jules Henri Poincaré was a French mathematician, and he says the scientist does not study nature because it's useful. He studies it because he delights in it, and he delights in it because it's beautiful. And I think for me that kind of sums up a lot of the things of why I do it, and I think a lot of us in C. elegans totally agree. And in the end of that he says, if nature weren't beautiful, it would not be worth knowing, and if nature weren't not worth knowing, life would not be worth living. And I think for a lot of biologists, this is true. So I wanted to give you some highlights from the past 24 years, and I'll give you some of the very first art show submissions. And this was a stained glass C. elegans from Steve Johnson lab. And a lot of the winners have all become faculty here. So some of these faculty are probably here on this call. Abby Dernberg, this is the first microscopic image first place winner. Here's from Peter Esker. I love this image. This was the first place a few years back. I know that was on many covers. This is a Petite Scarf by Irina. Worms having sex. When I show this to people, people absolutely love it. They're like, wow, these people in worms really truly love their organism, and love to do that. For all the students out there, if you're clever, that these were a first place winner. People put glitter and filled the picks, the glass picks with this. This is probably more than 10 years. This is probably like 15 years ago. So this was kind of like a huge innovation to see this glitter and awesome things. And of course, without the worm picks, we would have this cookie dissecting scope that was made by the Hunter Lab. We've had a lot of grand prize winners. And so Beata in more recent years, many of you probably seen this. She's in the Ugama and Desai's lab now as a postdoc. She's truly remarkable science artist and a dear friend now. And an IFTHEN ambassador as well, and doing and collaborating with her has been remarkable. You've probably seen and heard about the worm costume, and here we have Craig Mullo wearing the worm costume, and Calvin Mock is doing his outreach event with the C. elegans worm costume in LA here. And the last year, so in 2019, Philippe Dexheimer, who's recently graduated in a PhD, so congrats to him. And he won this remarkable, every year, every Worm Art Show, we have a theme, and that last time was a graffiti theme, and this went above and beyond what I was expecting. And I know Philippe has done many other graffitis since then and been contracted. So And a lot of people who've won the art show have gone on to been asked to do lots of other contracted art. And so the Worm Art Show has launched a lot of like science art careers for people. And so it's very awesome to see something that I think really when I was starting out in science that I didn't expect the response that was happening from this art show. And certainly was one of the first art shows at a scientific conference and still running today. Without further ado, I'd like to I want to end here. Over the years, I've learned a lot of things, and I want to share. I found this quote from Einstein: "Is I learned that after a certain high level of technical skill that's achieved, science and art tend to coalesce, and aesthetics, plasticity, and form." And then I definitely found this with all the winners and the entrants. The greatest scientists are always artists as well, and I know that many of you know that and appreciate that and seen that with the participants this year. And I want to thank everyone for entering their amazing art this year that completely blew me away. And of course, I've gotten texts from all over the world from people who have seen it, who are not C. elegans people. And so this is a great outreach event for the community to teach people about how amazing C. elegans actually truly is as a model organism. So I'm going to release the winners, and I'm going to go in reverse order. So I'll go from sort of third to first. And I'd like to thank my longtime collaborator and help, Dr. Diana Chu, who's at San Francisco State, and Dana Bird, who's in Yishi Jin's lab as a senior scientist, helping me coalesce the winners and also the GSA for helping set up the Survey Monkey thing to vote and see who the winners actually are. So these winners are chosen by the community. And so, and of course, the mixed media category was overwhelmingly flooded with stuff. And so I ended up adding some honorable mentions there because there were just too many to not give awards to. So we'll start off with microscopy. And so we'll have third place, we'll get $50, second $75, and first $100. And so the third place award goes to Jack Bauer from the University of Montreal and the Labé lab, the first larval stage worms. Second place goes to Adria Razuti Sanfilu from Patrick Laurent's lab. And then the first place goes to Lena Pieners from the Schulenberg lab. I really love this image of the microbiota accumulation in the gut. And the mixed media. So here we have the mixed media. We have 4 honorable mentions, and then first, second, and third. And so the fourth honorable mention goes to Tarani Ornella for the pencil holder. The next honorable mention goes to Braden John Larson from the Strom lab with this wooden, beautiful worm carving. Keep your heads up. The second honorable mention goes to the 4-foot-long rug, which is truly remarkable, and I wish we were in person to see this. So Kaylin Rubenezer from the Pierce lab, kudos to you for making this rug that I'm sure lots of people will want from you and buy from you. So I think it's great. And the last honorable mention goes to Dan Konsman from the Hanover lab for this beautiful pottery. And I want you to point out that the male tail is the attachment on this teapot. So that's really great. So congrats to all those honorable mentions. And so for the third place in the mixed media goes to Siju Surendran. Sorry if I mispronounced that, from the Babu lab. I truly think this is a remarkable drawing, and I want to point out the fact that there are little worms coming off of the drawing here. So if you look closely, there's worms embedded throughout this drawing. So this is a truly remarkable drawing of Sidney Brenner that I'm sure he would love to have and seen. The second place goes to Varsha Singh from his own lab. Varsha has won and entered many, many years. I love this, and this got tons of votes for the omega turns. And then the first place goes to Ria Shoklan, who's at the Indian Institute of Education and Research for the C. elegans mandala art. So every year we have a virtual a theme, and this year was just an overview of the virtual world that we've created. And so we have a $50 prize that goes to Shilpa Helpar at Kansas State University in the Xenovea lab. And if you looked at this little cartoon, it's very cute at the end. So this got a lot of votes. And so the Activate Dower mode was a very sort of cute thing that struck a lot of chords with a lot of people at the meeting. The most humorous went to, which I also most humorous and absolutely beautiful little painting goes to Ritika Siddiqui from the Sing Lab. So the Sing Lab is very talented and wins lots of awards. So the Rotten Fruit Cafe was very cute. So congrats to you, Ritika, for this beautiful painting and humorous little take. So we also have a multimedia award, and we had 3 entries this year. I'm only going to show one of them. And the winner goes to the Claycomb Lab at University of Toronto. And I think you could hear it.
It's been 1 year since I'm back to lab. I never thought I'd want to pivot so bad. 5 weeks since I chunked my worms in. Hopefully they'll all be fine if they dower. 3 weeks since I ran in gel. These samples are from last June. I hope you can't tell. Yesterday I made these slides, but can't present them because my internet died. Hold it down, click the Zoom link. That'll make you stop think. I know you're looking at Twitter. Your camera is so long, but now your sound is gone. I'm not sure how, but the speaker has turned on a filter. Yes, we can all see your slides now. I just don't know how. But yes, you can change your background. I still have 3 Zoom calls. I hate these 4 walls. I need to have some people around. Pets running by the screen, children starting to scream. There is no way to get any work done. Can't see my friends because it's locked down again. This won't end, but at least Starbucks is open. How can I help? That's both funny and sad. The lack of fear always has me going mad. But won't the world just listen to science? Instead, people walk with this mass defiance. I know we'll all hug again someday, thanks to Brenner's mRNA. It's been 1 year since I rode a plane. Conferences online are quite the same. At least I don't put on pants, but I will be seeing everyone dance. And I think that germ granules new. Did every lab go and publish a review? I should get that plasmid. Wait, how long has this lab studied COVID? Crazy kids who won't stop running, trying to parent while they're still working. Where the heck is childcare? This doesn't seem fair. It's a working mom nightmare. Remember when we were out of TP? Thank God for Fauci. And I'm sick of making sourdough. My hands are dry from Purell. Quarantine's hell, but there's nowhere else to go. We're out of filter tips. These new gloves don't fit. Don't even try to get transcript discs. Now we're out of tubes. What can we reuse? Man, things are so expensive these days. How can I help that it's both funny and sad? These anti-vaxxers have me going mad. I just wish we could all meet in person, but I know that could make things worse, and I just wanna talk in the same room. I'm just so sick of Zoom. It's been 6 months since the vaccine's done. Now we just need to get it to everyone. The end is now in sight, but I think I've developed an allergy to sunlight. Can't wait to get my shot. But what do I do with all the masks I got? Yesterday was my opportunity, but it'll still be 2 weeks till my full immunity. It'll still be 2 weeks till my full immunity. It'll still be 2 weeks till my full security. Shout out to my whole worm community.
Okay, so give a clap out to the Claycomb Lab and Amanda. So they have been entered multiple times and done amazing videos over the years. So congrats to the Claycomb Lab for their big win on the movie. And so without further ado, we have a big grand prize winner. And the winner who got the most votes wins $300. And this goes to the steam pump worm by Gal Hausball in his own lab. So congrats to Gal. Thank you for entering, everyone. I'm going to stop sharing, and Tina is going to give out the poster awards, and we are going to move into breakout rooms, and we'd like to get a screen capture of all the winners. So if you're an art show winner, we'd like you to go to the art show thing after Tina has give out the poster awards. So take it away, Tina, and thank you everyone for entering.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Student Poster Awards. Wave if you can hear me. Okay, thank you very much. These poster awards have been generously supported by the Genetics Society of America, and the award winners will be getting a check through Anne-Marie Mahoney. So thank you very much. And thank you also to our meeting organizers, chairs, Barbara Conrad and Piala Singh Gupta, who allowed us to make this happen for our community. This year, I'm continuing as the poster judge organizer. I've been doing this since 2011. I'm doing it this year with Jared Young. And I'm going to introduce myself, and then everybody else gets to introduce themselves. And so my name is Tina Gummany. I've been doing this since 2011. I am now an associate professor at Texas Women's University. Yay! And Jared, introduce yourself.
I am Jared Young from Mills College, and I've been doing this for a few times myself.
Hi, I'm Laura Valier, and I am at Hofstra University, and I've been doing this 3 times now. Thank you.
Pia Ghosh couldn't be with us today, and she is an assistant professor at the University of Texas at Arlington, also in Texas. And Jason.
I'm Jason Chan. I'm from Marion University, and this is my first year part of this group, and it's been fun.
Thank you. It's been fantastic. Between the 5 of us, we've have 97 judges that eventually got to sign up to judge about 178 posters, which is a little bit low this year, possibly because of the technology involved in this procedure. But thank you all. It's been a fantastic experience. What I want to do is remind people, the award winners, to please join the Poster Awards breakout room after this presentation for a group photo. There will be 2 breakout rooms, one for the Art Award winners that were just announced and one for the Poster Award winners. And that includes everybody who gets both a GSA award, which comes with not only glory and honor and a line on your CV and resume, but also a check from Anne-Marie Mahoney and the GSA, but also honorable mentions, which comes with that line on your CV and absolute bragging rights for you and your lab. So please, everybody who wins a poster award, please come to the breakout room after, and we're going to get photographs, even though they can't be in person. Thank you. What I'd also like to do, while we have the poster judge names up and we scroll through them, is if you could open the chat function and add your good news from the past couple of years since the last meeting into the chat. We would absolutely love to take this opportunity for people in the field to be able to share their good news. I understand that this meeting has been capped at 300, and so a lot of you are actually watching this on YouTube and may not be able to use the chat function. If you can, that's awesome. But please add good news for yourself, promotions, new positions, retirement, into the chat box while we go through our list of poster judges who have really made this service possible. You all have been an absolute joy to work with. I really appreciate it. Feel free to take a screenshot to add to your promotion and tenure records as proof. If you all ever need a letter that says that you have done this service for the community, just ask, we'll be happy to give it to you. If you ever see one of these people come up in a job search or wanting to join your lab, or not join your lab, these are all postdocs and all professors of some rank, and just keep that in mind. You know that these people will help create a good environment wherever they are. This has been a wonderful group of people to work with. Because of the number of posters that we had this year, they didn't have to judge as many as they have in previous years, like 3 or 4, but we had some judges that judged 6 or 7 even. It's been absolutely wonderful. They filled in all the spots that for all of our poster judges for all of our poster judging needs. It's been absolutely wonderful. Really appreciate you all. And so, yes, the list keeps on going and going because we're only up to the T's right now. And
let's see, what was my chat here? So we just saw that somebody got married this past year. I've just lost the name, but we saw that there's been somebody got vaccinated. There we go. Oh, Augustin Denaud got married. Jim Lissamore got vaccinated. Wouter van Vandenberg got started his PhD, excuse me. And Alexa got a puppy.
Lots of good news.
Dan survived. Dan Shave survived a year of remote school with an 11-year-old. That's great news. Anyway, that's some of the good news we have going on out there.
Wonderful.
Jason welcomed a new baby, Addie. Catherine Wallstrom finished her term as division chair. Rashid survived the pandemic. And Malik Patel, this is great, won the Best Mentor Award. Fantastic. And Rachel Wellman had a baby Patrick.
Fantastic. All evidence that we're not just a great community of researchers, we're a great community of people.
Oh, and Nikki passed her comprehensives. So let's continue.
All right. And now for the poster awards. We have the usual categories. If you entered under other, there were only 2 of those. And so we put you into the next logical category.
I think both were gene regulation.
Okay. Cell biology, development, ecology and evolution, gene regulation and genomics, neurobiology, physiology, and the undergrads. And so for cell biology, this is one that Pia suborganized, and she's not here with us today, so I will announce them. We have 2 honorable mentions to Alexandra Sokovich from the University of Illinois at Chicago, and Christine Rourke from the University of Delaware. And drum roll, please, for the GSA Award, Mohammed El-Azwad from Central Michigan University. Laura, development.
Yes, development. Honorable mention, we have Taylor Medwig Kinney from Stony Brook University and Wesley Chan from University of Ottawa for honorable mention. And then we have, for the GSA Awards, we have Evelyn Popiel from the University of Toronto.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And so for ecology and evolution, we have the GSA Award winner, Mohanan Dardiri from the Max Planck Institute for Developmental Biology. Way to go. For gene regulation and genomics, our honorable mentions go to Kaylin McGillivray from the University of Toronto and Shilpa Hebar from Kansas State University. Our GSA Award winner is Madeline Baer from University of Toronto.
Hey, Laura.
Yay.
All right, so here are our honorable mentions. For neurobiology, we have Megan Arnold from Rutgers, Allison Butt from Yale, Mara Cohen from the University of Pennsylvania, and Gal Goldman from the Weizmann Institute of Science. And before I announce the winner, I just wanted to give a big thanks to Tina for leading us through this challenging judging session this year. It was a special year, as you can all imagine, and she did a great job. And thanks to all the other organizers as well. And here's the winner for the GSA Award, Hagar Seti from the Weizmann Institute of Science.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Okay, so for physiology, the honorable mentions are Julia Luce from University of Pittsburgh, Tuan Tran from San Diego State University, and Philip Wabistono, sorry, from Washington State University. And the GSA winner is Bashwati Ghosh from Louisiana State University.
Woohoo, way to
Congratulations.
go. Yay.
For the undergrads, so for the two honorable mentions, we have Frances Moore from Stony Brook University and Carrie Larkin from the National Institutes of Health. And then for the GSA award, Grace McIntyre from Marian University.
Woohoo.
Thank you, everybody. Those are our winners. And these are sponsored by all of our wonderful sponsors too.
Who helped make this meeting possible. Thank you very much.
And make sure that both of the two sets of art and poster winners, please join us in the breakout room to take photos after this. We'd like to take pictures with you, please.
You should be able to see a breakout room option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And so that concludes our.
And by the way, if you're on, if you're in, whatever this is called, if you're in YouTube, you should be able to get into Zoom now at this point. There's under 300 people if you need to get into the breakout room.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to one and all. Please join the appropriate breakout room.
Congratulations to the mentors and everybody who presented. You made our job hard. Thank you again to the poster judge organizers. Y'all
thank you everybody, one and all.
Feedback was awesome. We really appreciate it.
Very awesome, yes.
Hey, Jason, can you put me in my art show room? I can't do that.
Sure, I'm gonna open up the breakout rooms right now.
Okay.
And you guys should be able to assign yourselves, and me and the co-hosts, if you are unable to assign yourself, just let me know. And we can assign you.
Sorry, I won both the poster and the art shows.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So which breakout room should I go to?
You should bilocate.
Okay.
No.
Do you have two devices? Okay. I'm going to join the PSA Poster Awards breakout room at this point. So see y'all. Bye-bye.
Option to move just disappeared.
So it disappeared at the bottom of your Zoom. You should see.
Yeah, no, there's just a black box when I open up the window.
Okay. I can't see who's speaking to me right now, actually.
It's Madeline.
If you want to, Madeline, which one do you want to go to?
The poster awards, please.
Poster awards? You got it.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Laura Valier. I would also like to get into the poster awards. Thank you.
And then Jason, this is Mara Cowan. Could I also move to the poster awards?
And if anybody wants to type into the chat where you would like to go, or also you should see a breakout rooms button at the bottom of your Zoom where you can assign yourself. If you're unable to do that, just let me know. So if anybody has just joined us, you should be able to join one of the breakout rooms using the button at the bottom of your Zoom window. If you're unable to join any of those yourselves, I can assign you to one.